welcome back. I'm Shiko,
I'm Yam. And I'm Gadani.
and this is
Okay.
Take. I
I
see.
see.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What a fake run.
Let me tell you, when we started out, we used to be like, brap, brap, brap. Now we're like in an R&B season. It's like run all the
Please
way.
don't say
R&B. Please, trauma. Anyway.
R&B season.
Man.
Welcome to the show. My name is Shiko.
Wow.
She's Nyam.
Boot up.
And this is Gathoni.
Ah.
Can someone shout out our background singers?
Yeah.
Please. It was Cornelius.
Cornelia,
Corona on the drums.
Corona, Maria, yeah.
Ozzy on the triangle.
Oscar.
I don't know
Please,
why I
at
gave
least give
him.
my child
I
the
don't know
bass.
why I
I
gave him the
mean,
triangle.
really, let me ask you. The drums are the only thing that have been taken. Of all the instruments, you looked at my child and said triangle. G-shares. You have Lil, I mean, forget you. My child. I feel like
Oh, is she?
umemwonea so much.
How you guys?
I'll even get him his toy to squeak in protest.
We're leaving. Me, I've been very dull. If there's any word that could describe my week, I would just say dull. Um, and not the Indian kind, just the
Shut up. Please. Ugh, even, I mean, ugh, I'm so tired of you, by the way. So tired.
yeah.
Jesus.
There really has there hasn't been anything going on. I have been kind of emotional this week. I don't know why. There's nothing really that should be making me so emotional, but I've been very emotional. My tears have been close with the quickness they are ready to fall, and without any trigger warnings. Just like, oh, you're watching a show. This is a sad part. Craze. Like literally on Thursday, I was sitting on my hammock and I was just casually scrolling the internet. And then I saw a song. What's that song? That Avicii song. Say one day you leave
Mm-hmm.
this life
Mm-hmm.
behind. So live a
So
life.
live a
I
life you
literally started
remember.
bawling. I was like,
Yeah.
Avicii is dead. I don't know why, like, it affected me so much. I was like, my
Yam,
gosh,
is
he
this
had
news
so
to
much
you
more to
based on your
give.
reaction?
Then he's like, Avicii's dead.
She said he what? I was like,
Yum.
I mean, you have ruined the moment. I'm so as opposed to such
Chico, I
even
was there
crying.
with
No,
you.
I
I
was
was
there
like,
with you. Then I
this
saw
is
Yam's
news to
face, and
me.
I was just like,
Yum is
JK.
fake.
Yam said,
Yum is
he
fake.
went, really? You have ruined the moment, Yam. Forget you.
Sorry. Wow.
Okay,
Wow.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
Why?
I was just so emotional, RIP. Anyway, yesterday, this bitch is fake.
The fakest.
Yesterday, I went to we had a hangout with the people that I go to the gym with. It wasn't planned by the gym, but just a couple of my friends from there. We went to one of their parents' houses. They live a lot
Oh, fun.
around
Hey,
about
Wanjiko in the
an
building.
hour. They live around an hour away. Um, Gorgeous, like literally in the mountains of Georgia, and they have a pool. So literally, their pool is not. It's not an infinity pool, but it feels like it. Like just looking over the mountains, it was so pretty. I don't even think I took a picture. We were just like literally just vibing and eating and having just such a good time. But yeah, that was really nice to do yesterday. Other than that, honestly, there's really nothing else that's been going on. I feel like I'm actually completely detaching myself from my previous job, which is good. I met up with a person who is taking over my job, and I gave them all my documents, and I was just kind of like, here you go, enjoy,
Oh,
good luck.
wow. Mm.
And I feel like that handover like released something in me. I
Wow.
was like, it's happening, like it's actually really happening. um I'm not a teacher anymore. And I was going over my Instagram this week and just like removing even like my teacher highlight reel,
Mm. Oh
which I
my
haven't like,
goodness.
I've been just looking at it and I'm just kind of like nostalgic. I like want to archive it, but it's such a good memory. So I've like been saving, I've been going through it every day and like saving and downloading the
But you also do
content.
you have to take it out though? It can just be there as part of like once upon a time. I was a teacher.
I just don't, it's not, it doesn't represent me anymore.
Hey,
Mm.
she said, take it off. So rude.
Yeah,
I
it
get
doesn't
it.
represent me anymore. So I feel like there needs to be like a, it's done. You know
Yeah,
what
I
I
get
mean?
it.
For
Close the
me,
chapter.
close the chapter. And then this week, what I'm planning on doing is actually taking all that material that I created and like putting it on a website for teachers to purchase. Like this, it's a popular website. It's called Teachers Pay Teachers. It's just like if you created a really good lesson on a particular thing, you can put it on the internet and sell it to other teachers or whatever it
Nice.
is. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm putting together my documents and putting it on that website because if I got stressed and burnt out, the least I can do is make back some money.
I know that's right.
Amen.
Yeah.
Hallelujah.
So hopefully that goes well. And then after that, that chapter is officially closed and we move on. So
Actually,
I guess
would
this
you
week was
then
also processing.
just create courses or classes that you think would have worked for that and then just put them there? I mean, because you've
What do
been
you
in the
mean?
space, so you know what's missing. Would you then create, I mean, because you already know what you created, but like in the space you're in now, would you create other class material that you feel like you wish you had for teachers to be able to buy that you know would help them in that space?
I already did it. That's what I'm selling.
Oh, okay.
Me, I helped myself. If it didn't exist, I created it.
Okay. That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I
Good.
honestly like don't, I don't feel like I left a stone unturned when it came to like me teaching. Like I don't think I left a stone unturned. I think my content is actually like pretty dope if I do say so myself and
It'll be
pretty
nice to say so.
engaging. Yeah, thanks.
You're
So
welcome.
they better buy it.
They're gonna
I'm
buy.
just
They're
kidding.
gonna
Gonna
buy.
buy
But
it
If you're a
all.
yeah.
teacher and you're
Yeah.
listening to this, we are telling you to go buy. Link in
Yeah.
bio.
Link in bio. Not really, but yeah. Gadani, how have you been?
um I'm tired. I say this all the time. We hung out with Mama last week and she's like, every time on the podcast, you are just saying you are tired. What are you doing about it? Anyway, I know things are thick because I was telling Shikwenyam earlier that yesterday I had a nightmare about work where I distinctly saw like 5 emails in my inbox and I was like, oh my god, this thing hasn't been done. And I actually had to wake up to check my inbox to make sure those things weren't there. But I haven't had a work related nightmare in like since I worked at the airport. So now I'm just like, should I call myself to a meeting and figure out what this means? I don't understand what's happening. Yeah. So I'm having nightmares about work is what I'm doing with my life currently. However, an amazing friend of ours called Njora had a show and it's his first live show as an artist and we went to it today and I was in like just feeling vibes, just a happy space. It was such a happy space and like he talked about like depression and all of that and you can hear it in his music and his music is so vibey. Oh, I had so much fun today. So I feel like actually and then we hung out with a really cool friend of ours on Friday as well. So I feel like in some sense there is a bit of niceness in the madness, even though a friend of ours also has a parent who's not feeling well. So I feel like there are a lot of high moments, but a lot of low moments. And it's just trying to find the balance in all of it. So being like happy in the happy, and then being sad in the sad, and then trying to get out of the madness that is giving me nightmares. Wow. So, Madhogodhanio is how my week has been. Thank you. How do you translate
Wow.
Madogodanyo for the people in the back? How do you
Yam,
translate
our
Madogodanyo?
scholar. Madhogodhanyo.
Okay, so
Word of the day.
Madagodania is similar to what you would say as Osh Posh Magosh, or it is also how you would say
Thingamajigga.
Thingy Mabobi. You know, words that don't have direct meaning but mean everything at once. Madhogodania means Madhogs. It's to mean up, down, don't know where the center is. Thank you.
Oh my
Okay,
What
so
is
my
this
week
one, you
has
gosh!
been
guys?
You've
up,
lied!
down,
You
don't know
really
where the
threw me
center
under
is.
the
That's
bus.
how.
Anyway, you're just
Please,
gonna have to
no.
take it.
Shiko, we are
That's what I
accepting.
could
We're
do.
accepting it, okay?
That's all I could do
That's true.
and
My week
need
has
short
Wow!
notice.
Up, down,
don't
to
know
the
where the center.
center.
No, she said don't know where the center is.
Period.
Therefore,
Don't know
my
where the
week
center
has been
is.
up, down, don't know where the center is. Thank you.
I know that's right.
Dictionary nyam
Yum.
coming
Back to
through.
you.
So my week has been good. Um, there were a bit of some changes that happened for work that I was doing that kind of threw me off. But I think this week showed me my strength as far as agility. I already knew, like, I love a plan, but I also thrive in like madhogodhanyo, like I'm able to fix things, and it really came through this week. My agility, quick thinking, fast on my feet. I had to utilize those skills a lot this week, but yeah, it's been a good week. I feel like I'm still a little exhausted, just body tired. Yeah, I'm in a good space, so I'm excited for the coming week. Yeah, it's been a good week. Wait, I don't know why when it is
Bless you,
my
babe.
What's
time to
happening?
speak, my body has said sneezing time it is. Mm,
It's trying to
yeah,
test if you're actually good on your feet.
yeah, it's testing if I'm actually able. Excuse me.
Bless you.
Okay.
Your sneeze is so wishy. It's so.
Yeah, but I'm also doing it that way because I have a mic in front of me. Technically, I can sneeze like an uncle.
Hot. Oh.
Like that.
Actually, why is it? Why do men? Okay, why is it like dads and uncles are like that? A normal guy is just like shoo, shoo. Then the second they become a dad, it's like shoo. It's just like my guy. Why?
Yeah.
Anyway,
So, are you all ready
You
for
got
the
the wheel?
wheel? Let's go.
shua. 1, 2, 3, go. Like a record spin, 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 spin
Imagine
me.
it's
How do we make this
spinning.
song R&B?
Hey, why is it a choir?
Spin,
Oh,
spin,
it's
spin,
trust. It's
spin
you
me,
want me to make it R&B for you?
yeah. Spin. Okay, wait. Like a record spin, spin me,
What
yeah.
is happening?
We're making
You're
it
my
R&B.
DJ spin, 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 yeah.
I love the way you go spin, spin, spin me, yeah, me, yeah, me, yeah. Me, yeah,
Period.
You guys.
We said
No,
our
but the
theme is
thing, the key
R&B.
to R&B, the key to let me be a choreographer, a choreographer. What is the person who writes
A
songs
teacher.
called?
Songwriter, producer.
Songwriter.
Hmm?
Thank you, all of them above. Um, this is how they do it. All you have to do is take a song that exists
Mm-hmm.
and then just add the lyrics you want to it. Okay?
What are you saying?
Okay.
That's it.
Give us an example. For example,
For example, give me one of your favorite R&B songs,
Hours and hours.
a popular one. Okay. Yours, mine, ours.
Yeah.
Okay. Like a record, spin me around, spin me around. I wanna be spun
No.
around.
Okay, thank you for that. Thank you for your contribution. Yeah. Oh my god. I can't believe we are
Sherry
wasted.
said,
That
I
is
want to be spun around.
this is time we will never recover actually. Oh my god. Hey?
Oh.
Wow.
Anyway, what have we landed on?
We landed on yak and yam.
Miami
Wow.
Shiko song.
Yeah, yam is Shiko's R&B spin song. Okay.
Yes.
Guys, you have to try
Wow.
this. You have to try this. Anyway, I don't have yam start.
You've already started.
I don't have. I need to cough. I'm muting myself.
Oh, I thought you said
Yam
your
start.
yam is
Sorry.
Shiko's song.
Of course not. It can be.
Damn.
Give me
Hater.
time.
What I mean.
Damn. She said, psych.
JK.
Wait until verse 2. You're not
No, no,
ready.
no,
It's
please.
okay. I'll give the people what they want in a future episode.
The people don't want it. I guarantee you they don't. Wow.
She told you.
Anyway, I'll tell you about my yak and
Yeah.
yam.
Tell us.
So, my yam this week has been that release of my job. I've been feeling very like, okay, we've mourned, we're mourning it, and we're getting rid of it. Um, so that's my yam this week. My yak would have to be. Do I have a yak this week? Yes, I do. My yak this week would have to be um burpees. Now, let me tell you. In my gym this
Yes.
week,
That's my yak every
there
week.
was something there was something called trials. I don't know what they were trying, but honestly, they really tried me, is what they did. We did EMOM.
Okay.
Nyam, I
For
think you can take this one. What is an
yeah,
EMOM?
imam is every minute on the minute.
Yes.
Finger snaps for
That
the
was
gym
just
babes. Finger snaps. Wow,
Finger
wow, wow.
snaps.
Gym
that was
babes.
Nyam redeeming herself.
I
Up,
did.
down. Cannot find the center. Wow.
So what we did this week in the gym was EMOM burpees. So we had 12 minutes on the clock and we started with 6 burpees in a minute. Okay.
Mm.
And each one after that, you would go up a burpee. So I started with 6 burpees a minute. I was done with more than 30 minutes or 30 seconds rather to
To rest.
left. I got to 7, I got to 8, I got to 9, I got to 10, I got to 11. And at
17.
11, my body was like, I think I'm going to stop here. Because if you keep going,
It's over for
it
us.
might it's going to be over. We're not going to You're going to have to carry me out of here because I'm not going to be able to walk. Note, this was before our workout. This was
What do you
after warm
mean?
up. This
So
was
it's not
after
your
warm
main
up.
workout?
No,
Wow.
no.
Let me tell
This
you,
is
this is why
our
burpees are the devil. I told you guys. Anyway.
the expectation to get to 17 was a little bit ridiculous and they weren't really like expecting us to get there, but many people got to around that 11, 12, 13. I think Christian got to 14 and then he was like, I can do
Hey,
15
gang.
but it's gonna be over. So that was my yak for this week, the burpees that I had to do.
Wow.
Damn.
Mm.
There's a hella many.
Oh. Anyway, let me tell you my yam for this week. My yam is Shiko's R&B song.
Thank you.
And in addition, Jora's music. I think it's just so exciting to see someone doing a thing. You know, like, I like when people don't allow themselves to be one thing. Because, like he was saying, he's been a spoken word thing, a poet for so long, and that's what people know him as. And when he wanted to be an artist, it's that thing of you're not sure if you should do it. And when I see people doing it, also because he's not like 12, I like seeing people my age who are younger than Yam.
Shut up,
I'm joking, Yam. I'm
Ellen.
joking. I just had to one episode. We
Nonsense.
couldn't let you go for the episode anyway. No, but like people who Like, who have been told, you've been taught for a long time that you can be one thing, and then now you're just like, I want to be this thing, and then you just start doing the thing. I like people who do that. I like people who are not told what to be, and when they decide they want to be something else, you try it, just try it. And to see him thriving in trying that is just like such a yummy. It's just so good. It's so juicy, so good.
Yeah.
Mm.
My yak is work nightmares because yes, Shiko.
When you were talking about that, um, I saw this TikTok this week of Burna Boy's concert
Mm-hmm.
in MSG, Madison Square Garden. He sold out New York, first African artist to sell out Madison Square Garden. Which
Mm.
congratulations, Burna Boy, that's
Brap,
fantastic.
brap.
But there was this part of the show where he was singing and everything, and he was on an elevated platform, and then he just stopped, and everyone started singing, and you could tell on his face, like, he that moment of like,
Mm.
holy
Shit.
shit,
Yeah.
it's all it's happening, and like he's doing the
This is
thing,
real.
you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? It's real,
Mm-hmm.
that like expression on his face. And Burna Boy, I'm going to even say it now, very arrogant man, we all know it. He has a terrible reputation in everything.
Mm.
Anyone who's ever had, it, whatever, I'll stand by my words.
Hey, you're
But
standing by your back. I hope so.
She says she'll back her words up. She just mixed things
No,
up.
she's standing by her back. Please don't put words in her mouth.
Nani, you can
Just
just let
leave
things
some
go.
things
Guys,
be.
I'm looking for quotes for March. You see, if we don't keep these things, I mean, can you imagine how fun it will be to have on your jumper written, I'll stand by my back? I mean, I'd wear that. It's so great. Excellent shit. Anyway.
But when you were talking about your friend, that's kind of the thing that I thought about. That just that feeling of like, oh yeah, it's coming together. Good for him.
Yeah, I think it was really cool. And there was also a moment when he was like, because his sister passed away, and he was like, I'm doing this thing now, and if she was here, she'd have loved it. And it's just, that it's so great to see people do that thing. Anyway, my yak is my work nightmares. I'm just, you know, tired of thinking. I want to sleep, guys. I just want to be able to close my eyes and sleep. I just want to sleep and dream about, are they called meadows or meadows? With, how in old movies there used to be slow motion running. It's that guy. What's his name? Eddie Murphy. In what's the movie that he's an old woman also? He plays 17 roles.
Shrek.
Big
Oh my
Mama.
god, no, he's just the donkey in
Big
Shrek.
Mama's
Shiko,
house, I
thank you.
think.
Yeah, in Big Mama, there's a scene where he's running through a flower and like this. I'm just like, that's the only dream I want to have in life. But anyway, guys, pray for me. I pray for you. Mom, don't text me. I'm fine. I
Damn.
can hear the phone doing. I've told you to stop being exhausted. Anyway, Mom, I promise I'm fine. But yeah, yeah. Next, Yam house, yak and
Um,
yam.
so my yak was Zinzi dying this week. Um,
Aww.
Oh,
yeah, we lost a family baby.
We
And
did.
yeah, I think maybe it was also because of seeing her on Sunday last week, and she was sick.
That's one of my mom's dogs, by the way.
Oh yes.
actually, yeah. Because
Um.
when you said baby, I'm sure we'd have gotten
Oh
condolences for
yeah.
drama.
Sorry. Well, still
Yeah.
condolences because
It's
she
still
was, yeah, like,
True.
we're also dog people. So I think the thing about it too is people who know, who are dog people, or who recognize the significance of like a family pet in the way that us guys do. Yeah, so you understand it is a loss. And I think maybe because of seeing her on Sunday and how she was so weak and just like unwell. But also, like, I think Gadani sent me the video of when I was talking to her and I was telling her, don't worry, you'll be well. Hey, let me tell you, when I saw that video now, the morning she died, I was just like, hey, I really wept. I really cried. This week, I really cried. I think it was triggered by Zinzi,
As
but
you
I,
say, I apologize for the squeaking. My child
you say
has
as he
said,
knows.
As you appreciate how us guys are in your life, I'm going to be the podcast. I apologize.
Yeah, it's like he's doing it to make his starter happy. Yeah, but like I think it made me also think of Mumpy, who's my dog that died. Like I really felt so sad, and every time I would like I called my sisters, and every time I would see either Corona, Corny, or Ozzy, I would just start crying again. I don't know. It was just yeah. So that was my yak this week. But thank God all dogs go to heaven. So
Amen.
they
Period.
good. And my yam, I was gonna look for another one, but it's also Justin Jora. I think he really put on a great show today, and I absolutely love the music choices and even like the diligence and work ethic. The band was on point. You know, it's not easy to put on a live show, and especially when like a lot of your music is rapping. I always respect a rapper who can perform to live music and not just have like a track. It really blows my mind. I think that's also one of the things like I really liked about Calligraph at Blankets. You know, just like putting on a good show, because it's not now like you can do like dancers and whatever, but just like and the lyrical soundness of his music, like I think maybe it's the poetry background, but I just felt like, and his diction, everything was just so spectacular. I really enjoyed myself. And there's also like a vibe. There was a vibe in the room. It felt like very positive and encouraging and, just like sunshine in a room. So I that's definitely my and I think uh it was also the imperfection of it. Like there's a time he was like, hey, I didn't sing that line properly, let's take it again from the top. But like it felt, I think it's the authenticity and how organic it
Authentic.
was.
Mm,
Yeah, it was just
yeah.
so wonderful. And yeah, I really enjoyed myself. It was nice to hang out with Gadoni and CK. I don't think we haven't hung out like that in a while. But yeah, it was just a lovely afternoon. That's definitely my yam for the day or for the
Yeah.
week,
Nice.
even. Yeah.
That's awesome for the week. Hiya! In this episode, we are talking conflict. I don't think there needs to be a trigger warning. Does there need to be?
Nah,
No.
we're good.
So let's jump into it.
Hey everyone, welcome to today's episode. Today, what we'll be discussing is conflict. It was one of the questions answers we got from you guys when we asked for suggestions for episodes. So, we're going to be talking about conflict resolution. The question we got on social media was specifically how we deal with conflict in relationships, in our siblinghood, and in like the workplace, with parents as well. So we did a bit of research, and what happened with our research is we found that there are 5 specific ways to resolve conflict. And so I'm going to read it out to you guys, and then you'll tell me where you feel like you fit in. So the strategies I'm using are based off of a guy called Thomas Killman, and he describes the 5 strategies based on 2 axes. Axis like XY, on the graph. Wow, not me taking you back to
Okay.
school. So it's assertive.
Going back to
We're
geometry.
going
Yeah,
back,
she
back, back, back,
said.
back.
Mother
Anyway, I
Maritz.
apologize for the triggering of if tomorrow you wake up dreaming about you forgot an assignment, I'm sorry. But the strategies are based on assertiveness and cooperativeness. So it's assertive and cooperative. So it's between assertive and unassertive, and then cooperative and uncooperative, right? Right.
No.
So
Is unassertive a word? Which one
according
is that she said?
to Thomas Killman, unassertive is a word. We can Google.
Uh,
Should we say, hey Siri?
I even said unassertive.
Yeah.
Oh no, my Siri actually went off. Shoot, I said, hey Siri, and my phone did zoom. Sorry, my bad.
It's okay.
But yeah, so unassertive and uncooperative. Is it in an? Anyway, we are here now. So
None.
Yeah.
That one. So the first one, or incooperative and unassertive, is accommodating. And what accommodating is, it's commonly seen when people want to be unassertive and cooperative. Not every conflict needs to be a war. An example where you might accommodate a person is when they complain about a process but not the outcome, right? So it's not necessarily you agree on the goal, like what we want to do at the end, but how we get there is what the problem is. So if you don't care about how we get there, or whoever it is who gives into how we get there, that's the accommodating person, right? Then we have avoiding. Avoiding is seen in the unassertive and uncooperative space on the axis, and it is reserved for individuals who are more inclined. It's like people who are, it's small annoyances, one off mistakes, and issues that would be worsened by addressing them. That's the ones you'd avoid, basically. Um, then collaborating. Collaborating falls into the cooperative and assertive, which means all parties are heard and the solution chosen works well for everyone. So, for example, if it's two different sales teams, um, each of them figures out what's best for the customer, and there's no one who's having to like reduce what they want. It's like, I want my client to get yellow books, and you want your client to get blue books, and they both get yellow and blue books. So that's collaborating, where we're just like, okay, we can do both. Competing is assertive and uncooperative, right? So it is very intense, and it is used mostly by lawyers when negotiating deals. So it works best because this, like, the lawyer will never see the person again. So if I win, it doesn't matter that you got hurt or whatever it is. Like, I win and then we're done with that story and then we move on to something else. So that's competing. So it's basically trying to get what is best for one individual party. And then compromising. So compromising, if you check it on the scale, is like in the middle. It is assertive and cooperative, and it might sound harsh, but it allows everyone. um it's best used when there's no time to listen to everyone's concerns. So we just decide on a middle ground so that it just stops wasting time. So a compromise would be like, for example, if we had an event, cancel the event and then figure out whatever the issues are later. So it's like, this is the issue I have with an event. It's just like, you know what, let's just cancel it and then we figure out what the issue was after, but the thing has been sorted, right? So, based on this, I know it sounds dramatic. I know we've talked about it in previous seasons where if you use negative words to describe a thing, it feels like a bad thing. Like, you know, when you're like uncooperative or whatever it is, it sounds like you're doing a bad thing. But I don't think that's what it necessarily is. Based on what this guy was saying, Thomas, he was saying that in every conflict, there's a space for each one of the resolutions to be used, right? So, based on that, and I know I've said it really quickly, and I don't know that you guys had time to look through it, but what do you feel like your resolution would be? Do you feel like you're accommodating, where you'll give up what it is you want for the person who you're in an argument with? Do you feel like you're collaborating, where it's like you win, I win? Do you feel like you're avoiding, where it's just like, I ain't got time, whatever? Do you feel like competing, where it's like, I win, forget everyone else? Or do you feel like you're the queen of compromise, where it's like, let's agree to disagree?
You're talking to a compromise queen right over here. Um, I personally like, actually, that's hard to say because I feel like my approach is more compromising, like in the best way. I'm not going, if I feel like I'm right, I feel like I'm right. And you're not going to change my mind. That's it. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so we can either get to a place where we coexist, which is obviously the goal. Like, you think what you think, I think what I think, we figure out a way to work with both of our desires in a way that benefits. And I guess I'm talking more, um, well, a lot of relationships actually. We figure out a way to move forward where both of us are feeling like that. I don't know.
So based on what you're saying is if you are so based on that, you're competing where it would be assertive, I want, but what you want doesn't matter, and cooperative. So competing where it's like what I want goes through. So compromise would be a lose-lose where no one gets anything, like no one ends up getting anything they want is basically what.
That's not going to happen, then I'm not
Okay, yeah.
compromising.
So I'm like, you're not compromising, you're competing. You sound more like competing. Because compromise is where they describe it also as a lose-lose situation where I don't get anything I want and you don't get anything you want. So it's described as a lose-lose situation where, like I was explaining,
Ideal situation, I would like us both to be happy walking away.
collaborating,
You know what I mean?
the dream.
But that's the dream. We want to both walk away having what we both want. And I'm thinking more like in the event example that you gave, like if I have an idea, and it's the same with like our podcast too. If I have an idea that I feel needs to happen and Yam has an idea that feels need to happen, we can talk about how we're both going to get these things done.
Mm,
However, just because she has an idea and I do too, we're not gonna push hers to the back burner and we're not gonna push mine to the back burner either.
mm.
We're just gonna figure out a way to both coexist.
Which I think that would be collaborating, no?
That's what I was
Yeah. So you
Yeah.
thinking.
both win. So it's that thing of where collaborating is described as a win-win where so like now I want something, you want something. So like in the situation where you've said over the podcast, it would be like I say I want us to record on Saturday at 6, and then we're like, okay, Saturday at 6 works for all of us, right? But I feel like the question then becomes is not in every situation, but in some situations that doesn't work, right? So like say we are fighting about Shiko's skirt that we both want to wear on a Sunday, and then now it's just like, but it's my skirt. You know what I mean? And then that becomes a different way of how conflict needs to be resolved,
Mm,
you know.
interesting.
If it's my skirt, you're not wearing it if I want to wear it on that day.
She's
Let's just
But
be very
no, but
honest.
if I wear
competing.
it first, then maybe we need to discuss that because why didn't you know what you wanted to
Is it
wear?
mine or yours?
No, but why didn't you know what
Is
you
it
wanted?
mine or
But
yours?
why
Is it
didn't you know
mine
what
or
you wanted to
yours?
wear?
Is it mine or
When it's
yours?
on me, it's
Whoa.
mine.
Guys, it's a
No, it's
hypothetical.
not. It's mine.
And that, my friends, is
Whoa.
called in that
Conflict.
case what we are yes, and because we have not resolved it, we have done no
Nyam, what are
resolution.
you? Where do you think you fall?
So to be honest, I feel like I've fallen on each one of these. And I think a lot of the times it might depend on the situation as well as the relationship. So there's some things I feel like especially in relationships, there's a lot of stuff that I've avoided. If I'm honest, because I'm just like, it's not worth it. It's a small thing. Of course, sometimes it will come back and bite you in the ass, and you'll be like, oh, I guess that was a big thing that needed to be discussed. But I think I've fallen in avoiding in terms of conflict resolution severally. But I think also a lot of the times, now if we go back like to season 1 where we were talking about like even our attachment styles, because I'm a bit anxious, I find sometimes I can fall into the accommodating where it will be painful for me, but I would rather, for the sake of the greater good or the greater outcome, or for the growth of the relationship, however I feel like it's going, to be like, okay, maybe I can deal with the disappointment, or I'll figure out another way to get what I need or my needs met, even if it's not in this one situation. Yeah. But what's so interesting is from a workplace perspective, I think I've fallen a lot on like competing, where it's like I know what I'm doing. There's one person I worked with
No.
and I was just
I've had
like
you
I'm not
see their
getting it.
face. No, when you
Yeah,
can hear the
I
It's
face.
just
like,
don't get
you
it.
know, literally, nyam nyam did that. Doo-doo-doo. Her face just
Like
was like, I saw the
she
person.
said, there is a person.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
because for a long time, and you know, the thing that I find so interesting through processing and hindsight is a lot of the times we were on the same side, like we wanted the same thing to be done. Yeah, like it would be a win for us if the thing happens, but like I always felt like no matter what I suggest as the way it should happen, they will have an opinion on why it should not be that way. Yeah.
Were they in
And
authority, like in authority position?
not in terms of a supervisor, not in terms
Role.
of they were
Yeah.
my supervisor, but in the sense that they were an enabler for the things I needed to do. So, if I need you to sign off on something before I progress, then
Yeah.
we have to be
I have
on
to
the same
convince
page.
you.
So
Right.
Yeah.
we have the same goal, but it was just like things like, let's say for example, I feel like money should be deployed for this specific thing in the next 2 weeks, and then I've given the feedback that that's what I think should happen. Next thing I know, they're like, okay, but how about if we go about it this other way? And I'm just like, listen, like I processed the thing before I suggested it this way. And it's because there's some moving parts that I understand that you have no visibility of. So in that situation, I used to feel like it used to be so competitive. And now that I'm out of the situation and I can think about it, I'm like, it didn't need to be. Yeah, so I felt like that ended up being like, it turned around to be like a personality clash, when it was not. It was just like, we want the same thing, why can't you see things from my perspective? And I think that's what you are talking about in terms of when you're seeing the good for the other person. Now, of course, in as I've grown, and also now you guys know, like because of 7 habits, one of the 7 habits is think win-win, right?
Of
um
effective people?
yes, seven
What is
habits of
the
highly effective
okay.
people. It's a book. I also am involved in
Training.
training or facilitating the
She's
program.
certified.
Eh.
Yeah, yeah, dig. So but anyway, the thing about thinking win-win is, how can this be like a better outcome? I think in that situation, from a workplace perspective, I'm able to process it better if I think about it from that paradigm of, how can you win and how can I win? Yeah. Now, I also feel like thinking win-win is specifically called thinking win-win because I don't know that you can always get win-win. Yeah. That's just the reality of life. And also I think sometimes the way, if I'm honest, even in the workplace, it's celebrated when you win and someone else loses. Because I mean, think about like bonus structures. Things are set up for a win lose in this world. And that there's some places where in sports it's straightforward, that conflict is rewarded if someone loses, right? You're in it for the championship,
Yeah.
right? um
The athletic mindset.
Got that ring.
exactly.
Yeah.
But exactly but then but then it's also thinking about it like, okay, so maybe they lost, but maybe their team works better now for the next season. Yeah, so that technically is still a win. It might not be the win that's rewarded in the absolute terms of the world. um
When you said that, that's like, I was listening to, just to add to your basketball example.
mhm.
What's that Greek guy called?
Yanis, yeah,
Exactly.
he
And
said
he
it.
had a clip where a
Mhm.
reporter asked him, um, so you lost. Do you consider this loss or whatever it is.
He
Like
asked him
you
if the season was a failure.
exactly because he didn't
Mm-hmm.
win the championship.
Mm-hmm.
And essentially what Giannis said was like, "Hello, I play in the NBA. Like, listen,
I win
there's
this
so many
season, next season
people
I lose. Yeah,
who,
exactly.
you know what I
Actually,
mean? Like, there's so many people below me that wish they were doing. I need to find that
yeah.
clip. It's
So
so
actually, he
good the way
also
he
says he says to him, um, you know, Michael Jordan only won. I don't know if it's 6 or 9 rings in his whole career. Is that to mean that every other year was a failure? You know, it's
Mhm.
it's
Mm.
it's more than just like the win. There are other ways to win other than the absolute terms that have been lined out for a person. So sometimes I think when you're thinking about collaboration, it can push you to think about how do we both win. I think in a lot of situations, it's easier, honestly, from a professional point of view. I think from partner relationships, what is pushed more is like compromise. Like someone has to lose,
Compromise.
yeah,
But I
or
think
give in.
I feel like
But
the
is that what you
difference
think
is
compromise is?
it actually is what, based on the description, is what it is, where someone has to lose something. But I feel like a lot of people can go into competing where it's, I don't have to win. I think the difference we have is in conflict resolution. We feel like the person who won in the moment is the winner, even though we can have a win at the moment and a win in the future for the conflict. Like we can be fighting about something now. So in this moment, you get what you want, but later I get what I want, but we've still resolved the conflict in that sense.
So what would you say that was? Compromise.
No, that's competition. Collaboration. Sorry, collaboration. Where it works for both of you at the same time. I think what we need, I think the thought process when I'm going through conflict for myself, especially, is whoever wins in that moment is the true champion, right?
The
Fact.
lion, the emperor, the conqueror is
The
here.
champion is
Jobu,
here. Job.
jobu.
Exactly. I'm like, if I win now, I am the emperor. But then, if you think about it, especially in relationships, sometimes it's you win now. So you eat chicken today, tomorrow we'll eat beef. It's things as simple as what are we eating that can cause conflict, right? So it's like, what works for you? But even as I say that with confidence, I'm the queen of avoidance. Okay. I know we've established this in different seasons. I don't know how to fight. And when I start to fight, I become like, there's an animal that becomes like it goes into a shell, not a hedgehog, but it just
No, you're the one. What's it called? A raccoon
no,
who
please.
Wow.
plays dead.
Raccoons don't play dead, ma'am. Raccoons fight for their lives.
Once when conflict is coming, they're like, "Fuck, I'm done."
But I'm not like a
Drops
play
to the
dead.
ground.
I'm not a play dead. I feel like I need to remember what the animal is. It has like scales on the top, and then when it feels like it's in trouble,
A
it forms.
porcupine,
I don't think it's a porcupine. It forms a
Oh no, I think I
ball,
know the
a
one you
and it's
hedgehog.
want.
just like, no, it's
It's
like a
not a
shell
hedgehog.
hard armadillo. Anyway, whatever it is called, it forms like a hard thing at the outside. Because I feel like when I'm in conflict, I'm the person who's like, oh, so you want your way? Cool. Bye. First, fight by yourself because I ain't got no time for this. And then when you try and come back for conversation, I'm also not listening because I have like now a wall or an armor built because, see, you thought you were right. So why you come back to talk to me? Fuck you. I like I've said that even though mom told me not to cuss. Anyway.
Before we started recording, mom is
Yeah.
visiting me in Atlanta right now. Before we started recording, mom came to the camera and was like, "And
Gathani,
Kadani, don't
please.
use a lot of profanity."
And
And
I
Gadani
just
had
say,
the guts to tell her to her face.
I didn't tell her to her
I
face.
can't
I told
even
her,
drop it.
I didn't tell her
Hey,
to her face.
hey.
I said, my instinct is to say, fuck that. That's not saying to the face. That's saying what I thought I should have said, but I didn't. Listen, if you
You're
say the
so
And
words,
then, and
crazy.
then mom goes, even I'm going to tell on her. She said, "You said I should fuck off."
you're saying, she said, you're saying fuck you to
She said,
me.
"You're saying fuck you to me."
I was like, Mom, I didn't say fuck you. I said fuck that. She's like, but that's the same as fuck you. I was like, no, you and that are different.
Wow.
Moral
Anyway,
of the story is Gadani
what
doesn't
a
listen to our
digression.
mother.
Digress.
She should have expected it. Anyway, but yeah, I'm the queen
Yeah,
of like
anyway.
avoidance or accommodating, where I'm just like, I don't like to fight. I don't know how to fight. I haven't learned how to fight. So I'm just like, if it will help, hi, Maria. Anyway, if it will help us for you to have your way, if we'll stop having this conversation, then do whatever the hell you want. And to the detriment of some things, because like there are times, especially in the workplace, if someone comes at me and I'm just like, I know this is wrong, and we'll find out in 3 months why it was wrong. I don't have time to have this conversation with you. In 3 months, I'll tell you I told you so. I thrive in I told you so's. So
Mm.
But don't
I
you
will
get
be
more satisfaction
accommodating.
if you tell them I told you so after like a little tuggle,
That's
you
why I'm
know?
saying
A
no,
tug
that's why I'm
tug.
saying I normally fight a bit, then I'm just like, okay, let's do what you want. And then 3 months I'm like, you remember that day when we were sitting over there and you were wearing that blue
Yeah, babe of
t-shirt?
receipts.
Let me tell you, I bring them as per our last email. You know that babe for please see attached. I'm that babe.
Let me give you guys a
How about
scenario.
personally though?
Oh yeah, Gadani,
Sorry,
tell us
go.
about your personally first.
I feel like I'm the same. I don't know how to fight in relationships. I can't be bothered. But I think I mentioned this in previous seasons where I'm so accommodating, I get resentful. And then I'm like, fuck you for what it is you're
Mm.
doing to me because you don't see that I made all these changes for you. And so now I'm going to undo all of my changes, which then in conflict doesn't help because now ideally my version of conflict resolution of accommodating has been taken out. So all I'm doing is recreating conflict that the person I'm in a relationship with felt that it was resolved. So for them, it's throwing them off. And I'm just
Mm.
like, it was never resolved. And that you didn't notice it wasn't resolved is a you problem. And so I go straight from accommodating to competing, where I'm just like, and so now what I want is this. And because you've had what you want for this long, it's my turn. And it doesn't work, basically. That's why I'm single.
Mm. I'm single.
Do you know
Do
that
you
I'm
know that
single?
I'm single?
I'm
I'm
single
single
again.
again.
Basically. Yeah.
Anyway, okay.
Anyway, I can't relate. So
What a bitch.
And a whoop.
Nyam, what was your scenario?
So I was going to
Damn.
say, like sometimes when I think about an example of compromise, um, and I don't know now. I guess that my question is in this scenario, is that compromise, or maybe you guys can tell me based on what Gadoni has described or these different strategies, what it counts as. So I was in a relationship with an extrovert, and I am an
You
introvert.
don't say.
Yeah. So I think it used to be a point of like contention, like early on, because me, I don't want to go everywhere, and I just want to be at home. But it used to feel like it's an affront to the other person, like you don't want to do stuff with me, right? And so then I was like, oh, I really don't want to go out, but maybe I need to develop like a quota system of every three asks I'll go on the fourth. You know what I mean? Um,
This month you have 3 yeses.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
But
one a month,
yeah,
bro.
so because for me, I felt like it was really difficult. And it wasn't that I didn't like the people, but like that small talk, it really, like, I would get so drained now, like, and also because that person is an extrovert, the minute we arrive at the place, I'm on my own, which makes things like worse because now they're working the room, they're like, oh, what up, blah, 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 blah.
I
Yeah,
felt triggered on
so
your behalf.
Oof.
Bruh.
thank you.
God,
I'm
Jesus.
shaking.
So in that situation, now for me to say, okay, I will come out twice a month, and um, I want I can leave whenever I want to. Is that compromise? Do you feel like that's a collaboration, or is it like compromise? Or because in that sense, I win in the sense that I don't have to be at the party the whole night, or I don't even have to go to every party. Um, yeah, so that's now where I was trying to figure out, was that a
So that's
compromise? Because
collaboration.
okay,
So
okay,
I agree.
collaboration means you've been had and a solution has been chosen that works well for everyone. So for your person, you have gone with them, but for you, when you've timed out, you're going home, right? So compromise would be that whatever works for the time being. So we are going, and I'm going to sit there and watch them be with people. But because I didn't want to have the argument, I'm going to sit there. But you see now, collaboration, the way they say it is, it's assertive. It's both assertive and cooperative. So it's like, what do you want? But also what I want matters. So it's like, you want me to go? Okay, I'm coming, but I'm going home
okay.
early.
So actually, I think what a compromise could be is that if the
Wait,
okay, go ahead.
I say it's collaboration on your part. However, on his, it's not collaboration and it's not compromise either. Because
Aha.
it's what's the one where you get what you want
Yeah, it was competing.
regardless?
No,
It's
so
competing. No,
it's
it's not.
competing, but he
Is
didn't
it?
put it on me, so it was accommodating on my part, I guess.
Okay, because here's the thing. You have already decided you're going to go out, and that's already a compromise on your part.
Mm-hmm.
You've collaborated too because like you've
It's a
decided,
win-win.
okay, I'm not gonna do it every single time, but
Mm-hmm.
I'll do it sometimes. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Where the shit comes is the fact that you're left when you've already tried to collaborate. You know what I
Uh-huh.
mean?
So I guess.
Because
Mm-hmm.
if the person knows that you're already putting yourself out there to go to the place, you said you were left. That's to make those small talk and whatever. Obviously, because they're
Mm,
your person, they should know that all these
they
things
have
about
to be my
small talk and
security
whatever,
blanket. Yeah.
security blanket. So it's
Mm,
for you should have been that extroverted personality should have still been in the room, but involved you in the room so that it's like, oh, you're not having to make those awkward side talk whatevers. You can jump in and put in a little whatever when you feel
mm,
comfortable. You know what I
mm-hmm.
mean?
True. That
Yeah,
makes
so I
sense. Yeah.
think then the conversation becomes that I think you can, there's probably a scale on every single one because it's collaboration. So I guess then when you're resolving your
It's not
conflict,
linear.
yeah, you need to be able to be like, and when we get there on the second Tuesday, you stay with me until the time I decide I'm leaving. So I have agreed to come with you. You stay with me. Then when I leave, do what you want. But until I leave, you are my handbag.
Although I feel like also, as I'm thinking about it, a compromise could have been, because you're talking about compromise being both of us giving something. So maybe it would be that he also has to not go out like 5 times, have an introverted have like, we're having a book date, don't talk to me, stay
or
in your room,
or
but that's
or
how
when you
we're
go
chilling.
out, we're going to go for 2 hours. After
Okay,
2 hours we're going
true,
home.
true.
You know.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah, I
compromise because it's
guess.
lose lose where you went out and you didn't want to, and then they left early when they didn't want to. So that is a
Yeah.
compromise. Yeah, you're right.
Okay, that's interesting.
Shiko, do you feel like you have
Good
different
question.
conflict resolutions for relationships versus workplace? Or are
Yeah,
you
I
the
think
same
I have
across?
different conflict resolution. I'm not the same across for anyone. So I
Or
have as
even in
many friends as I
relationships,
have, or as
people?
many relationships as I have.
Interesting.
I will have a different way of resolutioning,
We would like to have you.
resolving,
No, please,
Resoluting.
resolution it.
resolving.
Resolution to you? Yes.
Yeah, because quite honestly, like even if I was to say like my conflict resolution will be the same for my sisters, that's not fair because you and Yam
Not
have
different.
different personalities.
Mm,
You know
Mm.
what I mean?
mm,
And the way we relate to each other has to be different.
mm.
Not that I'm not going to be open and honest with both of you, but the approach is different with who I'm talking to, you know?
True.
So
You're accommodating
I
with me
don't
and you
think it would be
compromise with
fair.
Nyam. Lol. Oh,
Yes.
actually, based on what we had earlier with the scat,
Yes.
us guys are going to fight until
Because
kingdom
if I don't
comes.
accommodate you, bitch, you're not going to talk to me for like 15 years.
On period. That's the problem. I need to learn how to fight because I tell people it doesn't matter where I am. My instinct is to just be like, "Oh, really? Okay, cool." Shut down. And I'm just like,
And you know what's funny, Gadani, is that for me, that's my conflict resolution for almost all my friends.
shut
Like,
up.
Yeah.
like
You're just
outside of, like, just my friends. I was like,
you're not talking bed.
oh, okay, sour, cool. I guess we're not talking.
They're like, it was nice knowing you.
Yeah.
Have a nice life.
Mom is like, how is so and so? I'm like,
Who you
yeah,
asking?
we haven't talked.
I'm waiting for her to reach out to me.
I left that one in 2015.
I saw she was online on Tuesday and she didn't talk to me. She needs to say sorry. I've been waiting for this apology for 4 years.
So interesting. And then, how do you feel like you deal with conflict with the folks?
I don't.
Oh,
I'm a
okay.
firm
I
believer.
guess Gadani's
Here's my thing.
standard answer will be
Kadani,
like
you just don't.
no
No, here's
conflict.
You
my
just
thing.
don't.
No, but specifically with folks, other people, I might even try. With the folks
Wongo.
specifically, no, I might try. With the folks specifically, I'm just like, you're the adult. That's the end of my conversation. I'm like, as the adult, you should have known better. The fact that you didn't makes it not my problem. Like, and it's horrible. I know. I know. I can
Mm.
hear
Yeah,
mom
that's not
texting
fair.
me while she listens to this. You know what I mean? Like, I can hear her texting. I can hear her texting me in the future. But I'm just like, did you know you are pissing me off? Because, like, you've known me longer than I've known you. Because there's some point in my life where I was unconscious, but you knew me. So, for those extra years, why didn't you use that knowledge? You know, I'm just like, JK, bah. When it's
Yeah, what
adults,
do you think?
meh.
I think in the past I've been big on like accommodating. I'm just like the yes man. Um, but I think
What
with the
happened
help of
is
some boundaries, I'm
you're
slowly
turning
moving
into
into
us.
avoiding. No, I feel like I'm just like
Whoop!
whoop.
Miss me with that bullshit.
You'll be like, oh,
Dodge.
there's a beef coming. There's a beef coming. See ya.
Wouldn't
Yeah,
wanna be, yeah.
yeah.
Shiko, you
Interesting.
with the parents?
I think when I was when I started speaking up, so I say like from like my teenage years, 16ish through college, I really wanted, yeah, until college, until I graduated college, I really wanted there to be collaboration. I tell you how I feel, you tell me how you feel, we figure it out. But 16 to 22, how many years is that?
6.
6.
6 years is a long time to try things. So when I got married, I was like,
Miss me with
swerve,
that score.
miss me, miss me.
So basically what you're saying is you've
Yeah.
become me. You're welcome.
No, 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 no. Yours is next level.
No.
Yours is next level.
The problem, I think the difference between me and you guys is there's an approach you guys have of after you've done the screw, you'll come back and be like, hi, how are you? And
No,
I
I
think you
still
guys
want
are
to be
able to
understood.
compartmentalize between the relationship and the conflict.
Mm.
Hmm. Yeah.
I The conflict is the relationship. So if we have conflict, there is no relationship for me. I don't know how to separate the two. Wow, what a time to have a light bulb moment. But I don't know
Wow.
how to separate
Wow.
the two, where I'm just like,
Mm.
I don't know how to be like, hi, when I know there's beef here, which is weird because I'm the queen of compartmentalizing. But I don't know why conflict, I just put the relationship as a whole with the conflict. And I'm like, we are not one. Therefore, we are none.
Oh, that's sad.
So I
That's
think that's the
sad.
thing. I guess, but also, is it? Because it has
I
served
think
me
it
very
is
well in
because
some spaces. I feel like it's sad in some close relationships, but it has served me very well in some spaces. Like I feel like maybe I've become this person because of certain life experiences where I'm just like, if I was not this person, I would have been so much more broken when certain things happened. And so, you know, that confirmation bias thing where when things happen that are like, this is correct because you protected yourself if you want this
Okay,
person.
but I'm going to stop you. I'm going to stop you right there because on this same podcast, you had also said that you wish you had opened yourself up to feeling more
mm,
of that like fullness of feeling. You know what I mean? So, like, I
Hmm.
feel like you, it's overall, like, if you were to decide, like, is how I'm doing it more positive or have I missed out on more
And that's what I was
opportunities
saying
because I didn't
earlier.
open myself up?
So that's what I was saying earlier. I need to learn how to fight. So it's not a thing that I am not working on. It's a thing I'm
Okay, I
working on.
see.
But it's a thing that, like I'm saying, confirmation bias, it's that thing of because it has proven to work a lot of times, it becomes harder to get rid of it because it has protected me so well for so long. So then when I have to fight myself to be like, okay, in this situation, it's your sister. You know what I mean? Where it's just like, you can't not talk to your sister. And it's like, okay, hi, you know. And if you check with a lot of the people who are in close relationships with me, you'll see there's a bit of change in where I'm just like, okay, I need to figure this out, or there's been like a thought process with it. I'm just like, okay, I need to consider either the person's feelings or how it is I'm approaching this. But it's just that's where the fight battle is, learning how to fight fair, learning to separate the conflict from the relationship, and being able to be like, in these situations it worked, but it doesn't work in every situation. And that's why therapy. Hashtag.
it's true. You know what I also think, or maybe what I've learned, is it's easier to look for a collaborative approach or like a situation where everyone wins if you're coming from a place of trust. Yeah, because I have the idea that you have my best interests at heart, or I do not believe that you would want to hurt me. Yeah. So I think sometimes when you're not sure if that person is for you, is why you would be like super insistent on how things should go, or protection of self. Or sometimes it could be that they are for you but they're presenting in a manner that you have trauma from in the past, you know. And now of course that's your problem because you have to figure out that, oh, this is about me, it's not about them. But sometimes I've found that when I'm going into a conflict, I can be so annoyed or like completely not see your point of view. But because I trust you as a human being, or you have built in our relationship some kind of understanding that I know you're not a psychopath, you know, I'll be willing to be like, just explain it to me because I'm not getting it, you know. And I think sometimes that's the difference in how you will handle conflict, is the level of trust in that relationship.
I think it also requires a certain amount of vulnerability because even though like this like I think I've discovered that like in the last year at work because I had a manager that oh Lord help me find positive words to use about this man.
You got this. I believe in you.
He literally
Breathe. Okay.
is
You
full of shit. That's all. That
I really thought
that's
I really
the
thought we had it.
nicest. That is
She said
honestly the
respectful.
nicest
She
thing.
said, let me think about a nice way to say this. You ain't shit.
You
Mm-hmm.
know, just full of shit. And just one of those people who is a talker, not a doer. Like,
The
like,
gaslighters.
oh, I'll do it tomorrow. And then when you see them in the hallway, they're like, oh yeah, I got you. I saw your email. I saw
I
your
feel
email.
triggered. I feel
Babe,
triggered.
that email was
I feel
like two
triggered.
weeks ago. You
Bruh.
know what I mean?
And then when the thing
Just
is not
that
done, it's
kind
your
of
fault.
person. Period. Yes. So
Triggeration.
what I learned is I have to have a certain level of like vulnerability to just be like, yo, you're kind of messing me up on this right now. You
Mm.
know? Like, can you just like whatever, like person to person, like, can you just do this real quick because blah 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 blah, you know? And that even doesn't sound very vulnerable, but like you're putting yourself out there to be like, hey, and as much as that's profession, like I don't have to do that really as a professional because their behavior is not up to par, and I can easily go to the manager and my higher boss and be like blah blah blah, as much as I did. Let's don't get it twisted. For I had to get to that level at twice, but at the same time, like allowing yourself to have that vulnerability for you so that you can achieve the next level of whatever it um is something that
That's
could be
what I need to
developed, I
unlock
think.
because I'm still at.
Yeah.
But last week we had, it's like 2 months ago, we had this conversation and then we agreed this is what will happen. So why do I have to remind you? Because the thing that bugs me about people like that is they don't have the grace, the same grace when it's reversed, right? So if it was me who hasn't done a thing and it's 5 minutes late, then it's like you're incompetent and you're what? And I'm like, but 2 hours ago I reminded you of a thing you haven't done for 3 weeks. But now you want to put me on blast in a group. Like, where is
Yeah.
that grace on my side? And that's, I think,
Mm,
that's my battle. I need to be an adult. Guys, I'm a child in the playground and someone stole my
Getting, I
toy
think, relationship
and I'm
in
fighting it.
relationships, like I'm thinking about like with me and Christian,
Mm,
um I think I've also developed a lot in that, like with what Nyam was saying, trust area, because we could have like an argument about whatever it is and we're going back and forth and back and forth, and then I'll go downstairs and I'll be like, do you need anything before I come up? You know what I mean?
that part,
mm.
yeah.
Like thinking about the person, yeah, we're having a stupid disagreement, but you still consider it. You know what I mean? And I can separate like the kindness from
The
the
conflict.
argue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes me want to cry even because I'm just like, that's the thing I think I'm most scared about in a relationship is that I want to have the security that you're my person even when we're not, well, even when we're fighting. I don't want to ever doubt that you're my person. So we can be fighting. But at night, if I enter the bed and we're fighting, if I put my leg to yours, I know it's not like a yuck. It's not like I don't love you. I don't like
Hey,
being
that's
able to
next level.
fight. Yeah, being able to fight kind.
Oof. I'll
You
sleep in
know,
the same bed, but you're not touching me.
okay, yeah, but I'm just like, even if you're not touching me, I want to be able to know that you're still my person. You know what I mean? Where it's just like,
Yeah,
okay,
I
we're
know
not
what you
touching and we're
mean.
not
I know what you
talking, but
mean.
I need to know innately in my heart, in my being, in my cell that you're my person. And I don't know. I don't know. I don't know that I'd be able to trust a person that much.
Imagine it part of it is trust, but the other part is healing where that thing is from. And I'm saying this because in my
Inner
therapy
child work.
work, it's the thing that I've learned is that for a while, why that thing used to stress me out so much. Hey, hi Korush.
And they stay there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the thing about conflict for me growing up is that conflict meant the end of relationship, if we
Mm.
talk about like
Hmm.
our folks situation. So that is how I learned to not speak up for myself or not advocate. Like, I don't want us to fight because I'm like, if I fight, the thing ends. And then I
Mm.
graduated from
Wow.
that point to being where, like, okay, but I'm the only one who can advocate for myself. So now I'm fighting, but then now, see, of course, in the fight, there's the rift that inevitably happens. Then it becomes that I'm so anxious that this is the end, right? So it got me to the place where I wanted to be in. It means that I want everything to be resolved there and then. If we don't have a resolution, it means that the relationship is over. Yeah. But it got me to being to the place where I'm like, are we good? Like, we can have a fight and not even resolve it, maybe even for like 2 weeks. But me, I just want the reassurance that
We're
we're
good
good.
when
Are
we're
we
not
good?
talking.
Like,
Yeah.
we're not talking, but it's not the end of the relationship. And it can be as it's a it's not a usual thing, but I think that's just a thing that comes with dating, is that we're going to beef. But if you don't want to resolve it now, I'm like, I'll give you space. But are we good? Let's just have a
You need the
baseline,
Mm.
you know?
reassurance. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
just, yeah, that reassurance is important to me. And I think I'm at the place where I'm growing to where I might not even need the reassurance. I'm exercise, just like how you exercise that muscle to be like, okay, it's a beef, it's a beef. You don't even need to tell me that we're cool. But I think that comes with like a longer term relationship. So like you and Christian have done the work over the years to where you're like, the guy is not just also going to pack up his bags and be like, see ya, you know.
Unless they're
Mhm.
Aussie from Ultimatum.
Okay, I don't
Do you know
understand
Aussie from
that
Ultimatum?
reference.
Chico, do you remember Aussie from It's okay. We'll have a conversation about
Please,
it. Anyway. Yeah.
we will.
Yeah.
It's about packing. There's
So
someone who keeps packing their bags. But
But Nyam, when you were saying that, I was thinking, do you think that you then I'm trying to think of how to say this. How long do you think a conflict should last then? Because I heard you saying, like, I'll give you space as long as we're good. Like, how long do you
mm,
think is a healthy amount of time to let
mm.
it carry?
So I don't know that there's a standard. I usually
does it not
think it
depend on the
depends on what the
conflict?
fight is. I think
Mm.
depends on the fight, but it also largely depends on the person. Yeah, because I feel like there's some people who are different levels of emotional uh, capacity to handle or process. And because even I am a processor, sometimes I'm like, I need to sit with this thing before I can give you a response. Yeah, rather than
What's
rush.
the levels like? Do you have like an example? I'm trying to
Mm,
of a fight.
I don't know that I have an example necessarily.
Okay.
Um,
I think it also depends on the person because I feel like a fight with you guys are more likely to resolve the conflict faster only because of the relationship we have versus, let's say, a friend who is a close friend versus an acquaintance versus like a relationship. And even in relationship, are we living together or are you able to go to your house? Because
But yeah, that's what I was talking about. I was talking
mm,
about more in a relationship setup because
mm.
that's the example she had given.
So
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 I'm here thinking, like, is it like dishes? We can't drag a
yeah,
dishes. You didn't wash the
yeah, yeah,
dishes if
yeah.
for like 3 weeks.
So the thing about it too is I feel like when you're living with a person versus when you're not living with a person, it also changes. So there's some conflicts when I've not been living with my person where I'm like, it's taking too bloody long as far as I'm concerned, right? But it's now meant, like, the challenge is I can't think of what the issue was, but there've been situations where it's like I need a week and I'm like, what takes a week really to think about in my mind, right? But I was also like, I'm not gonna rush the person and then end up with a worse outcome. Yeah. So for me, it started being like, okay, let me find ways to feel this week so that I'm also not now overthinking the thing and sabotaging. So that when we come at the end of the week, I'm like, you are trash, because now I've been building up this thing in this,
yeah, the
thing in my
resentment.
head. Yeah.
Mm.
But then
Yeah.
I feel like, on the flip side, when you're living with a person, it can be even a small fight like those ones of dishes, and now it even escalates like to like 10 times. Yeah, like I've had like, silent treatment, and the beef is so small, but you're still just
Ay,
over
ay,
there
ay.
rotating. Yeah. So now what I can't deal with is that toxicity. Yeah. That's the thing that gives me the anxiety. So I'm like, let's either fight it out, or let's put a timeline on when we can fight it out or hash it out, so that even if I'm going to stay in this environment where now you're not speaking to me, I am left to my, it's up to me to figure out if I can read your mind, then
I can tell
uh
you a story. You
yeah,
can see what
so I
you're
think
going
because of
through.
that, it's different depending on what it is. I also think like in relationships, I don't believe in this thing of don't let the sun go down on your anger.
Let
I
it
think
set.
sometimes
Amen.
you can sleep on
Even for
anger,
2 days.
but
Amen.
I think the flip side of it is how you treat one another in that conflict. Because I think there's sometimes, what Chico was saying, if someone is being mean to you because they're upset with you or because they're angry, that's now problematic, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Because then now that and I think in relationships there's so many fights that happen. If you need a week every time you have a beef, like it's also not sustainable, you know. And even if you think about like having kids in the situation, it's like, so you'll just be having silent treatment or moving out every week, coming from that experience. For me, I'm like, that's not doable. That's not sustainable for me. Yeah, so I'm good with reassurance, I'm good with timelines. I think communication is the most important. That's the thing that works for me. And again, trust. I have to trust that you're not just being malicious.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, we're at time for conflict. Anyway, Shiko, if I'm wearing your skirt, I'm gonna keep it on. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. Let
As
us
long
know.
as she acknowledges, listen, as long as your language acknowledges that it's mine, I know in any court I'm going to win. So
So what you are
thank you.
saying is we are going to
Tell
court.
us where they can find us,
It's
bitch.
actually you who needs to tell us where they can find us. Where are they finding us? Let's go.
You can find us at OK Kiasi on all social media platforms. That is OKYKIASI.
Let's
If
go.
you do not want, thanks, I got it. If
Ah.
you do not want to reach out to us on social media, you can also send us an email. That would be okkiasi@gmail.com.
Yes, indeed. Thank you so much for listening. Find us here next week. And as always,
I'm Shiko.
I'm Nyam.
and I'm Gadani, and that's all. See y'all next week.
Bye.